We're born in the moonlight. Ain't no fantasy. Can't breathe in the sunlight.
Hello Aromas, this is Aromie here and welcome back to Changeling. I just wanted to show you guys the CG art album thing because I have a feeling Ewan's route is pretty short because we already unlocked 3 out of the 6 CG arts. So is his route like mega short? Like is it only like 5 chapters or something? I have absolutely no idea, but anyway, let's get back into the game. So, still researching. Yeah, I need to find a way to make friends with the Brownie that lives in my house. Oh? Yeah, it hates my brother and is kind of being a brat about it. So, do you happen to know how he made it mad? Not really. Bears are pretty easy to offend and they're notorious for their bad tempers. Oh really? I never would have noticed that. Every fairy I've ever met has been totally calm and collected the entire time. The Brownie, Brenna, you. Very funny. I just don't think he's done anything. I mean, it started pranking him the first Monday after we moved in. That was the first time the keys and shoes went missing. So he had to have made it mad in the first few days, and all he did was... Realization suddenly hit me. Oh, for the love of... What is it? We have a fairy ring in our backyard, and on our first day in the house, Spencer was trying to provoke me and kicked some of the mushrooms over. Ewan facepalm. That's probably what did it. Great! I mean, at least it wasn't me. I'm not much of an expert with brownies, but I can help you look for a specific way to make it forget its little grudge. Really? Consider it my way of making up for being a huge jerk. Okay, let's see what we can find. The awkwardness slowly faded as he helped me look for something useful. He figured leaving gifts out might work, but he wasn't totally sure what would be the best kind, since some gifts actually might make it mad. Still, having someone to help guide me through the research and offer a new perspective was so much nicer than working alone. We worked like that for the entire hour, and by the time it was time to go home, I'd nearly forgotten about our earlier spat entirely. Not yesterday. Ewan finally stood and stretched. I was amused at how close he came to touching the ceiling. So, ride home? Sure, just let me tell Allie. I pulled out my phone and sent a quick text to let her know I had a ride. Hey, heading home with Ewan. That okay? Yeah, it's fine. I'm going to be late anyway. Wanted to bring Shelly to talk about sleepwalking. No time today. Sorry. It's fine. We'll do it tomorrow? Definitely tomorrow. We'll let you know then. By the way, riding with Ewan again? Shut up. Have fun. I rolled my eyes at her. Gee, she was such a pain. Where I go? Alright, come on. One freezing, somewhat terrifying ride later, we pulled up in my driveway. I wrestled the helmet off and handed it back to Ewan, my hair clinging weirdly to my head. I managed to climb off with a semblance of grace this time. Thanks. Again. No problem. See you tomorrow? Ewan hesitated. Are you sure? What? What do you mean? What? I gave him a small smile. Yeah, well, I guess so. I couldn't see his face behind the visor, but he nodded before slowly riding back out into the street. I waited until he was gone before heading inside. Mom was in the kitchen, humming to herself, and for a moment I thought about going in and telling her what Spencer did that morning. But I was tired of fighting and shouting bad news. Instead, I just called out to let her know I was home and headed upstairs. I had 2 pages of notes on brownies and one solution to try to appease it, which may or may not work, depending how mad it actually was. We'd also found a method to basically kick it out of the house completely, which that one would definitely work instantly. I just needed to find the right ingredients. That would solve the problem right away, but I wasn't sure I wanted to. I felt wrong somehow. But my sanity was at stake in Spencer's life because I was definitely going to strangle him if he kept being a jerk over the pranks. What? Banished Brownie? Wow, this route we actually get to be like, no, fuck you, Brownie? No, let the Brownie stay. At the end, I was going to try to appease it first. I could always reserve the whole banishing thing for if making friends didn't work. I was just going to have to find the right moment to do it, because apparently the easiest way to a Brownie's heart was through its stomach, but I didn't think I could set out a bowl of milk without Mom noticing. I needed to find an out-of-the-way spot, maybe the basement. I could try to do it after dinner when everyone else was distracted. I only hope that doing so would finally fix things. If not, I'd have to take stronger measures. I was so over fairies and their weird personalities. I thought about Ewan. Maybe not all fairies. Wow. Anyway, I had a mission, but for now, I'd focus on that. And I guess I'd find out how well it worked in the morning. Chapter 3, Boil and Bubble. Are we making something? Where the fuck? I'm going outside again, guys. I was in the foyer but wasn't sure how I got there. I wasn't alone. I couldn't see them clearly. They bobbed in and out of the shadows, eyes gleaming in the faint light. They were fairies. Or that's what I assumed them to be. What else would they be? Strange eyes peered at me from every direction. The air was filled with the soft hum of moth wings and murmuring voices. I couldn't understand what they said, but I knew I should understand it. The language was strangely familiar. Where have I heard that? I was afraid, or at least part of me was, but the part warred with the comforting feeling of belonging. At the back of my mind, I wondered how the rest of the family hadn't woken up. I wondered how all the fairies got in the house in the first place. Why were they here? It was then that a strangely familiar face stepped out with shadows. Brownie! The brownie stood in front of me, both serious and silent. The brownie looked at me, almost pleadingly, holding out its hand. I could only just see it through the haze. A small brown figure that was the only familiar thing around me. Oh, why is it offering its hand to me? Is it trying to tell me to stay here and not leave? I took its hand. The instant we touched the fairies, or the things I thought were fairies, blew around us with an angry hiss, and they were gone. In my head was a whisper, piercing, chilling. You promised. But in an instant, it was gone. That's so cute. It's like, hey, what are you doing? You can't leave. Oh, cute. But in an instant, it was gone with a dream with the fairy intruders. And I was standing, awake but groggy in the foyer, and the brownie was still tightly gripping my hand. Oh, it led me back upstairs to my room. Oh, you're so cute. I followed awkwardly, bending over as I tried to hold on. My mind was struggling to figure out what was happening. Sleepwalking again. That was obvious, but had those fae downstairs been real? If so, how did they get into the house? The brownie gently led me back to bed, and because I was still half asleep, I followed obediently. It finally let my hand go, and I snuggled down as the blankets were drawn up again and tucked around me. What? Are you tucking me in? Something clambered onto the bed beside me, and long fingers gently stroked my hair. This is weird. It's so cute. It's taking care of me. But at the same time, it was sort of sweet and comforting, and I don't know. It was nice to have an ally to help me keep me inside at night. That is so cute. I really love this. I was glad I didn't banish the poor thing. My eyes grew heavy, and I felt myself drifting off to sleep. Why couldn't you help me all the other routes, though? Thank you. I remembered the words as my eyes slowly closed. It gave me a long, almost sad look before hopping over to sit on the end of the bed. Weird or not, I felt safer with it sitting there, looking over me. With that, I finally slept. Oh, October 21st. Holy fuck, we're like so slow. My head was pounding as I sat up in bed. It felt like my eyelids weighed 50 tons. And there was nothing in the world I wanted more than to go back to sleep. But I had to get up. Mom had already shouted up for me, and I really didn't want to deal with questions about if I was getting sick. I was already leery about facing everyone this morning. Whatever had happened last night had already faded to that pleasantly fuzzy space between dream and memory. I couldn't quite remember it all, but I felt like I'd been wandering around the house quite a lot. And I don't know what else happened. I rubbed my eyes and rolled out of bed reluctantly. A quick stop in the bathroom revealed that it looked as bad as I felt. Man, I had to stop that sleepwalking and weird dream stuff, if only for the sake of my poor face. I wonder what happens with bags under the eyes. Cucumbers or something? I made a face at myself and stopped to give myself a long, unhappy look in the mirror. Get your act together, girl. I was looking forward to Allie and Shelly helping find a solution for this stuff. I threw on my clothes and shoved everything in my book bag before heading downstairs. Spencer was sitting at the kitchen table, his face looking pretty tired, as if he hadn't slept well either. I really hope that wasn't because he'd been watching me sleepwalk. That would be annoying, to say the least, not to mention extremely concerning. Talk about questions I don't want to answer. I side-eyed him as I poured myself a cup of coffee. The car keys were sprawled next to him on the table, so I assumed they either hadn't gone missing for a change, or that he already located them. Maybe the treat I'd managed to sneak to the basement worked. Ugh, I want to ask, but how to do it without starting a fight? Oh fuck no. I don't want to talk to the kid. How'd you sleep, bro? I chewed my lip, but finally decided to initiate a conversation. Just to sound things out a bit. If he decided to be a jerk, I could just flee. So, did you sleep okay? He glared at me. Never a good sign. Someone was making a lot of noise last night. Or are you just asking so you can find out if you woke me up? Oops! To be fair, that wasn't my fault. Not that I could explain it to him. I sighed softly and got my things. I just go out and wait for Allie. It felt so oppressive inside these days, like a black cloud was hanging over everything. Like the smallest thing would set off another argument. I hated it. It was stifling. That thought gave me a slight pause. Stifling. I'd had thought that in my dreams as well, hadn't I? Was it possible the whole thing really was stress, and I was just acting out some unconscious desire to get away from Spencer? Though that didn't feel right either, to be honest. It felt like more than that. Somehow, in last night, I had the feeling there were definitely fairies involved in my dream or whatever it was. Ugh, I don't know anymore. I didn't have time to ruminate on it. Allie's car pulled up in front and she waved at me through the window. I climbed in the car and flopped against the seat with a long, painful sigh. Good morning to you too, sunshine. I feel like death. You look like it. What happened? I think I was sleepwalking again. I don't remember what happened. Are you okay? I think so. Please tell me we're going to have that time for that solution you talked about. Definitely. We're going to get this sorted out today, I promise. I just hope it works. Me too. I leaned my head against the window and shut my eyes, letting the sound of the car lull me into sort of a half sleep. It was only a short trip, but it helped a little. It didn't feel quite like my head was going to implode by the time we reached school. Michiko? She gently shook my arm. What? Maybe I should sleep it off in the club room. I shook my head as I tried to rub away the sleepiness. I can't keep missing classes. Someone is going to tell my parents eventually. You look awful. Well, if we can at least keep me in my room at night, I'll probably sleep better. So just one more day of zombie Michiko, hopefully. Ellie and I climbed out, intending to split up as we always did, but I paused when I saw Ewan and Drayson walk by, chatting together. Huh. What is it? I didn't really believe we were friends. What the fuck? Ellie chuckled. Yeah, it's kind of funny seeing them together. Opposites attract. Ellie grabbed her bag out of the back seat and headed inside. I need to go to the office, so I'll see you later. Sure. I was about to say club room, and then I was like, why can't I go with you? I watched her go before heading in myself through one of the entrances near the stairs. Excuse me. As I approached, I realized Drayson was standing there alone. Ewan wasn't around anymore. I wonder where he went. Drayson was standing under a large tree, both arms up as he apparently examined one of the branches. He appeared to be mumbling quietly to himself. I raised an eyebrow. What is he doing? Well, given that he was a unicorn, who even knew? A freaking unicorn! It was so ridiculous that I couldn't help but smile to myself. This was the world I lived in now. Equal parts ridiculous and terrifying. Well, maybe slightly more on the terrifying side. Otherwise, I'd be able to enjoy the ridiculous part a bit more. I shook my head and headed his way, planning to go past him and let him do whatever he was doing. As I neared him, I realized a couple of other people had also noticed him there. Why is it always her? Who's that? Your new best friend? I don't see her very often. It was Kara, of course, and that cute blonde girl that always hung around her. What was her name again? Emily? Emery? Is he talking to the tree? What a weirdo. Drayson didn't seem to hear them or pay them any mind, but it really irked me to hear what they were saying. Why were people like that? Drayson wasn't hurting anyone. Why not just leave him alone? Because some people just can't shut up, you know? I scowled at the two of them as I passed. Is talking about other people your hobby or something? If so, you guys definitely need to find a new one. Maybe take up knitting or something. Michiko! How did he hear me, but apparently not them? He probably heard them, but tried to ignore them. I shot him a smile as he bounded over to me. Hey, Drayson. Wow, you're just bouncing around from guy to guy so desperately these days, aren't you, Michiko? Listen here, bitch. Listen here. I think I rolled my eyes so hard I sprained something. Bouncing around. Seriously, that is your chosen direction of attack? Okay. Sorry if you think having more than one male friend constitutes desperate bouncing, whatever that means. Are you seriously forgetting that awkward kiss where you got completely rejected by Ewan? I mean, I'd want to forget about that too, but come on. Emery giggled softly. You kissed Ewan? I'm going to strangle you, Kara. Jason looked so horrified by that. I gave my sheepish look. We were just rehearsing for a play. Yeah, because that was definitely a believable line. Whoa, I thought Ewan totally stopped acting. You're the same as you've always been. I can't believe I thought you might have changed. Oh, you never thought that. You didn't even give me a chance. The first day I was back, you were sniping at me and spreading rumors. So stop with all this disappointed parent crap, Kara. You and your crazy brother should have just stayed away. Crazy? Did she just call Spencer crazy? Should I defend Spencer? I'll defend Spencer. As soon as she said that, I just snapped. Oh, that sounds horrible. That sounds horrible. Control your temper and walk away, I guess. I bit back the urge to respond. I just wasn't up for a fight with Kara of all people. First thing in the morning, she wasn't worth it at all in any fashion. Come on, Drayson went ahead in with me, running from a confrontation just like you always do. I rolled my eyes. Sure, Kara. Look, if you count my family moving away as running away, then you're an idiot. Which, whatever. We knew that already. But my parents chose to move, not me. And I'm not afraid to engage with you or eviscerate you with words. It's just that you're too easy a target and I have better things to do. You haven't changed a bit, have you? Still throwing people away, hurting whoever's around you because you can't be bothered to care about anyone but yourself. Whatever. I pulled Jason away, determined to not respond to that. I guess I should be glad you didn't hurt me as bad as you hurt your brother. I froze. At least I wasn't blinded. Listen here, bitch. Listen here, bitch. It's very difficult to see her here compared to like Corbin's route, where we kind of figured why she was so rude because she blamed us for everything, which still is incorrectly handled. But I still don't like her at the end of the day. Sorry, Cara. But anyway, thank you guys for watching today's episode. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
touch it, touch it, touch.